Can I do that? Can I hear that again? Can I please? Give me it.
Check. Welcome to the Root Radio Hour. Womp womp
Root and the fruit. The fruit. The brute and the fruit. The brute. The fruit.
And the fruit.
Okay. At the same time, Miss Pelosi is rushed from the House floor. She's evacuated entirely from the Capitol complex.
I'm trying to imagine what Nancy Pelosi looks like when
location.
she's being rushed somewhere. Like, do they put her in a wheelchair and start
Yeah,
rolling?
there it is. Yep, Tim's got it.
She just gets on her broomstick.
Is she 70?
She's
She
80.
hops on her broomstick.
She's an 80-year-old granny with giant tits. What do you think she looks like?
Well, she's from California. So they don't call it Silicon Valley for nothing.
Her staff barricades themselves into a conference room, hiding under a table. Staff members of the House leaders speak softly, frantically to each other. Just
you think
outside.
they really hid under a table? I mean, in like their suits and their
Yeah, they're probably peeing themselves too.
Yeah, it was a drill. It was the kind of a drill that they have before a false flag.
Well, you know,
event.
we're used to drills. We grew up with shooting drills.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I remember.
Lockdowns.
so they know, like, get under my table.
I remember we were
Before
in
that,
PE.
it was nuclear bombs,
Here's-
which made no
lockdown
sense
drills
at all.
made no sense because if you were locking down for a school shooter, usually it's gonna be someone who's from the school, so they know your routine. Anyways,
Yeah.
they know that.
Yeah.
They know that if I show up with a gun, I'm going to and I start shooting. Everyone's going to barricade themselves into the rooms and then let themselves out into the field later on afterwards. So, what if we had a partner and had multiple? One person caused a diversion for then everyone to think, okay, we got everything shut down. Now we're leaving the rooms.
Then someone's on the second floor with a bump stop.
Yep.
Well, we didn't have any sort of travel in our
I wasn't
gun drills.
smart enough
It was
to think
always
about that.
you hunker down where you're at,
Or I guess
and
I
then you lock
wasn't
the doors.
menacing enough.
I guess you're right. Maybe it was you hunkered
It was
down.
fire drills that they'd send you out to
fire
the
drill,
field.
You're right, fire drill.
But no, we went
Yeah.
to I remember I was in PE. We did
Oh,
a
but
shooting.
here's what you do then.
You run a fire drill.
Pull the fire
Yeah.
alarm, which has happened on accident before,
Yeah.
and now everyone's outside on the field.
consolidated in one area outside of the room. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
So
It's like we
I
need to
hope
talk about
no
Kevin.
one in school is listening.
Oh, Ezra Miller, my favorite.
But didn't he do? Wasn't it a pull a fire alarm, or was it like during a school assembly or something? He locked. Everyone was in the gym, and that's how he did it in the movie. How they reveal it to Tilda Swinton. He uses these bike locks and locks the entire. But like, what's so crazy about that movie is that he's like plotting that shit out in front of him. The whole you see it like the whole time. Essentially, because it's like he has a bike lock or something, and there's like a ton of them, that show up in a box, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm selling them at school." And then John Charles like, "Oh, okay, hey, that's your manure." He like rubs his head.
There's a small
Manure?
businessman.
Entrepreneur.
Hey, it's a manure.
Why couldn't they just use some like dorky, homely, frumpy, zitty asshole as like the school shooter? They
I
gotta
don't even
choose.
know what you guys are talking about.
They
The movie
choose
that
Ezra
we
Mil-
need to talk about Kevin,
Yeah, they choose like this model.
and
Yeah,
it's about
that's really dumb.
It's
A real miss there, because they could have found a kid that's a good actor but hideous,
Like
and
a young
then,
Tim
yeah,
Dillon.
but the thing about him was supposed to be he's supposed to look evil and crazy. Like he's supposed to have that, like you said, Dick Ramirez. Because you think
Dick Rimmers.
He kind of like that guy looks like he
Ramirez.
could play Richard Ramirez in the movie version of
Right, just like Zac Efron would play Ted Bundy.
Right.
Yeah.
So and
weren't we talking about a movie recently with a young actor that looked pretty creepy and someone really liked them? One of you guys?
I don't remember. I'm sure it was me, but I don't remember.
He looked like the guy from the movie of the Southern kid that's hard to find now. That we were...
I have absolutely no clue.
But the thing about the kid, the shooter,
He
school shooter
rode
looking-
a horse.
the school shooter.
There was a
looking-
wagon.
The school shooter looking dumb or stupid or whatever. The Columbine kids did. The one of them was really good looking, like a good looking teenage boy, like boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
No,
a boy.
yeah, I don't remember what they even look like. I just think of as school shooters as being really homely. And that's why they're so miserable, is because they're ugly.
The riders chant, "Where are you, Nancy?" in an audio clip.
Nancy, we know you're in there, Nancy.
Where
Come
are
on
you,
now.
Nancy?
It sounds like something from South Park. This sounds like a South Park.
It does
South
absolutely sound
Park
like a
is
South
life
Park.
now.
That sounds like a South. It sounds like there's a bunch
Free
of people.
hat, free hat.
And they're like rattling chains and stuff. And then Nancy Pelosi's hiding under her desk. Like, oh dear, oh dear.
No, Nancy Pelosi got sneaked out by some secret agents, and her staff is just under a table pissing themselves.
Oh, okay.
No,
They're
just
gonna
took
get
it through
hung for her.
The child smuggling tunnels that they have under the whole.
Oh yes,
Washington,
of course,
D.C.
the child smuggling tunnels. I was thinking more like the National Treasure tunnels. You know,
No, I'm thinking like Paul Bonacci.
like as fuck, as Nancy Pelosi is being ushered out through these little tunnels. They pass Nicolas Cage. Have you guys seen the Declaration of Independence?
We don't have
Yes.
time for that.
We don't have time for the Declaration of Independence.
In an audio clip, we hear one staff member whisper, "They're pounding on the doors trying to find her."
Trying to find her.
One man breaks open the outer door to the office where the staff are hiding, but not the inner door. Another tries as well, but eventually moves on. 2:24. President Trump tweets about Mr. Pence. Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution.
That's a very interesting Trump.
Giving
Burger, you
states
give it a shot.
a chance to certify. Oh, you want? Oh, yeah. I'm just reading it. Do you want? Can you do a
Burger,
Trump?
can you do a Trump? You can do a Trump. You do.
I
a
don't know
decent-
if I can do it.
You have like you at least can like kind of get turn into like kind of like the character for a second. So I feel like you
Mike
should read
Pence didn't have the courage. I can't do it. Look out!
it. Careful.
Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution. Okay. Giving states a chance to certify a corrected set of facts, not the fraudulent or inaccurate ones, which they were asked to previously certify. USA demands the truth.
Very good. Very good. That's
you.
Trump.
Thank you.
We have a voice.
USA
actor
demands
here.
the truth, okay? They demand the truth.
At the same time, Mike Pence is evacuated to a secure location.
Because he has no courage. He doesn't have the courage.
He's a
have the
pussy.
courage.
He's a pussy.
Why-
if I
why
was
are you
there,
running,
if I
Mike?
was there, I'd let him
Why are
in.
you running?
I'd let him in. I'd talk to him. Understand?
A lot of people are saying he's not courageous at all. Some people are saying he's
A lot of people-
uncourageous.
A lot of
I
people.
don't know. I don't
A lot
know.
of people are saying it. A lot of people.
A lot of people are saying, I don't know if I should say it. Should I say it? Okay, a lot of people are saying Pence the pussy. Okay, that's what they're saying. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. A lot of other people are
A
saying
lot
it.
of people are calling him a pussy.
I didn't
Okay.
come up with it. Riders
the
start
pussy,
to spread
okay.
through the buildings.
And then they all start chanting, Pence the pussy. Pence the...
up, pussy.
I don't know. Stop it. I didn't say that.
Others break in from outside through various doors around the building. They open the east side door of the rotunda to let more people in, flooding
Mike
through
Rotunda.
the doors and overwhelming the officers. The house. Oh, here's a picture of Mr. Pence.
Does he look concerned?
He looks old.
Does he look like a man without courage? Because that's what he, should
looks
look like.
Pence the pussy. He's got white hair,
He looks like Jamie Lee
white
Curtis.
pussy hair.
Mike Pence, more like Mike Pussy.
More like.
Mike Poontang.
More like dyke pussy. Okay,
Sorry, I
that's
have to
what-
watch.
Like Mike Pussy.
Audi wants to advertise over this. Audi said this is the right article to advertise on. Thanks. Buy an electric Audi. Okay, there's riders with red hats and riot gear come in through a door. Yeah.
They look like they're filing in to see a show.
They're
Yeah.
like, "Do-do-do-do-do, we were
How many
invited in."
face masks do you see?
You did see them smack a door, but
Officer Eugene Goodman.
someone runs through. The
Oh.
guys in suits.
Oh.
Oh,
This is really good footage.
Oh, who is
What
that?
are y'all doing here?
Is that
Y'all,
Goodman?
You need to go. You
Goodman's-
need to go.
Goodman's
this
like,
is not for you.
Guys,
This is off duty. This is off limits.
Hey,
they're
you
saying-
need to
hey, you
leave.
big
They're saying,
dummy.
come in, please.
hey, big dummy.
They're saying, don't touch the vase. But welcome to come in, take a tour.
So this is
Actually,
everybody for coming.
Where is
Tim is
that
playing.
Goodman?
Tim is currently playing the video of the Capitol
Of the alleged riots.
Goodman is like, yeah, he's like being chased almost, but he's
Or is he chauffeuring them through the building?
He's walking backwards, like
He's like,
like a cougar is following him.
This is a drill, though. Look at, there's a drill. There's a bunch of people in suits.
but hold on. Maybe this is, like if someone was to go rob a bank, the person would be like, please just don't shoot me. I have kids. And then take him to the vault. They open it up.
Walk calmly,
Yeah.
not too quick. They might get excited.
I mean, Goodman knows what's up. He knows that none of this shit's worth his life. He just wants to go home and have some
You know what they
fucking soup.
look like? They look like a bunch of Americans.
He wants to go home and have some fucking soup.
As
And watch-
Americans, we don't care.
watch
When
this-
there's a fire drill, you think I run?
Wait, isn't he an
I
officer?
fucking
Goodman
I'm
wants to
Supposed
go
hit
home
him.
and wants to watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy and eat some soup at the end of the day. And I now with breaking news, the news is just gonna be talking the whole time through it. He's gonna miss it because they don't preempt it; they just cut right in.
They're hurriedly walking, kind of. I mean, most of
drill.
most of them are 70.
They're filming a
Right.
drill right
If
now.
they ran, they would just fall to
They
the
would all
ground.
poop.
Yeah.
They
So
poop.
look at all this tremendous footage. Now try to find footage of an airplane striking the Pentagon. Bacon, sausage, roll-ups, and chicken cordon bleu bites, and Cheetos, booze, and propane every day. Oh, won't you come to Leon's today?
It wasn't really Lee Harvey Oswald that did it, right? Or are they still trying to say that it's him? Is there still like, how there used to be a staunch camp that was like very, you know what I'm saying? Oswald did it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's gone away.
Yeah.
Is that like almost an accepted, like,
Yeah, it's almost accepted by the majority now that there's some weird conspiracy.
but I
now.
mean, is that almost like the new truth about it? Because think about the textbooks or whatever when we were kids said that he was assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald and
Right.
never said anything about any controversy around it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So can we say that it's almost like, is it fact now or is it still conspiracy
Yeah, that's a
that
rough
it
one.
wasn't Oswald? I'm not saying that there was. I'm just.
I don't know.
I'm not saying that it was because that by saying it's not Oswald, at
Do
least
enough people
not
care
just
anymore?
Oswald.
Do people care enough anymore?
Yeah, it's almost one of those things that it wouldn't offend anybody if you had a JFK was killed by the CIA bumper sticker on the back of your car.
They'd be like, yeah, I've heard that.
Right.
Right, or they're just like, whatever. Because most people weren't really
Because
alive or
now
cognizant back then.
so I'm just trying to remember here.
Burger, am I allowed to have as much Franzi as I'd like?
Yeah, absolutely.
The idea is that it
We're
was
drinking
like
box wine.
It was like a perfect storm of all of his enemies, like kind of congregating there to get him.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how they painted it in.
How much longer after this was it from his refusal to sign off on Operation Northwoods?
See,
how
I
soon
was
his
I was
assassination
listening
after
to the drummer of Meat Puppets, and he was talking about in person. I don't know if he was the original drummer or just was performing with them, but he wanted to tell us all about the JFK assassination. Like that was the most interesting thing to him, and he was saying like, he pissed off too many people at once. He went after the mob. He went after this. He went after that. He should have gone one at a time.
Yeah, definitely. That's what happened. He pissed off the military because he didn't give them the support for Bay of Pigs.
Yeah.
And when they thought he was going to.
Wasn't he doing some with money too? That's the
Oh, he was
real
also
offensive
getting.
thing.
I believe he was getting off of the. He's going to pull out of the Federal Reserve and move to a silver standard or something
Right.
like that.
Oh yeah, that's really gonna piss him off.
And then his brother was the attorney general, and he cracked down on the mafia and got rid of all the mafia, which the mafia was slighted because they were the ones that got him into office, supposedly. Like they showed on The Irishman, you know, how they were
Jimmy
stuffing
Hoffa,
stuff in the ballot boxes and stuff. And there's a lot of ties, and there's a lot. That's why there's like coincidences and ties that link them together. That link all like the certain characters together. Like
you know what's weird to me when I watched The Irishman? Sorry, to
yeah,
interrupt,
go for it.
but the fact that they really disliked him for being a Catholic, and people really disliked him for being a Catholic at the time when he was elected. I didn't realize Catholics were so hated then. Like, I understand now with all the child molestation stuff, but like,
Well, before I think they just thought it was a perversion of Christianity.
right?
Which it
Because
is.
in a lot of Christianity, it's well, it's one of the commandments. Is it to not to worship a false idol?
Right, which is what the Pope is.
What the Pope is and what all their gold.
He acts like he's
at
God
one
on
point,
earth.
At one point, they considered like any representation of God or Jesus that was physical, that was also expensive to make, to be wrong, right? So like no gold crosses. That looks great. No gold anything, and the Catholics are all about gold.
Yeah, the Pope behaves like he's a king and he's the richest man on earth. I like the blue.
Wow.
Casey's doing all this. I like the blue too. I like both of them, but I think the blue looks pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, but Kennedy definitely had enemies. But Lee Harvey Oswald, the narrative of him being this lone gunman kook that was trying to kill the president because he was a communist just doesn't
Very
add up
convenient.
anymore.
It's like us being attacked on 9/11 because they hate our freedoms.
Didn't he
That's
get
a lot
killed?
of effort to
Yeah,
go
he
into.
got killed before. He got killed. He was arrested. He got killed like a week later.
By who?
Jack Ruby.
And why did Jack Ruby do it? He's apparently just
He's a patriot.
angry. Yeah.
Because supposedly and this is true, Jack Ruby loved President Kennedy.
Yeah.
Had it had a picture of him on the wall kind of thing. But he also had ties with the mafia.
He really loved Kennedy, but he was also in the mafia.
No, he was like a nightclub owner in New Orleans and had ties.
He didn't love Kennedy.
No, he was like a proud American who he was. I believe Jack Ruby was also Catholic, and so he loved Kennedy. But so that's why he killed Oswald, because Oswald in the world where Oswald was the killer, the story is that Ruby killed Oswald because he was a hero, trying to be a hero and trying to do something that he thought everyone wanted him to do.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the people in the conspiracy world go, well, this guy was in the mafia and dealt with the mafia, so he was really killing Oswald because Oswald was alive and was going to sing and tell a story. Because Oswald said in an interview, "I'm just a patsy."
Yeah.
So then, as he's getting carried away, carted away after that, live
gets
on
popped.
TV, he gets popped, boom, right there. But since people knew who Jack Ruby was, he was able to do that in the area because it was like, oh, that's just that's old Jack Ruby. And then when he did it, it was like, oh shit. And then Jack Ruby was in prison and ended up dying, I think, of cancer or whatever, or died just suddenly one point in prison.
Coronavirus.
But here's what's crazy, and this is true. There's a book I have about like the CIA. It's that one, the Manson book from the guy that was on Rogan.
Yeah.
And I have that book, and he's talking about how
you have it?
Yeah, I have it on audiobook.
Oh.
Like I've listened to it while I work and stuff.
He died in 1967.
Okay, yeah. So he died while he was in jail. Yeah.
Jack Ruby?
Yeah.
So that was 4 years after.
He had some sort of medical incident happen, and he was visited by one of the main doctors that were running the fucking acid, all the acid shit that was
Like the
going
MK
on.
Ultra
Ruby
shit?
died.
Oh my god.
And after that guy left is when he got really sick.
Ruby
Yes.
died of a pulmonary embolism
Mm-hmm.
secondary to bronchogenic carcinoma.
How old was he?
Well, he died on 67,
Okay.
and he was born in 1911.
So he's 56. So he's young.
Dude, it's he was 1967.
Yeah, youngish.
Yeah,
56 is pretty old by then.
he should have lived maybe like 7 more years.
Yeah, this is 4 years after he would have been arrested, I guess, because Kennedy was killed in 63.
November of 63.
Yeah. So it wouldn't have taken whenever that whole incident happened. I'm sure it wasn't much later. It was in 64 at some point, I would think, or something. Anyways, he wasn't in jail for very long before he died of this
On
pulmonary
November
embolism.
24th, Ruby drove. It's November 24th of 1964. Actually, no, I don't know what year it was.
63.
Yeah, November 63
24th is when he killed Oswald, right?
November 24th, he killed Oswald.
Mm-hmm.
They're assuming I know stuff on Wikipedia. Why the fuck? They're not putting the year. They're like, yeah, dude, November.
November of fucking 2016.
November
When
21st.
JFK was killed.
1963. Yeah, it was 63. The end of 63.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to kill John F. Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And they wanted to go. They also there was a real push to go into Vietnam, and Kennedy was saying that he didn't want to.
Didn't want to go into Vietnam.
I mean,
didn't want Operation Northwoods.
And as soon as he
died at Parkland Hospital, the same facility where Oswald died, and Kennedy was pronounced dead.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. Yeah, so he
as soon
opposed...
as LBJ got into office, he almost immediately started sending people over to Vietnam.
Yep, and had the most useless, ugliest war, at least until
Afghanistan.
Yeah.
What's Northwoods again? I always forget.
Operation Northwoods was like
ask you.
The Joint Chiefs of Staff had brought this. They had this whole plan put together that was going to have Cuba. It was Cuba attacked Atlanta, I think. And then they were going to blame it on Cuba, even though it was a false flag attack from home. And then they were going to they talked about crisis actors and having people, pretend that they were part of. So anyways, it was this whole big thing that they had orchestrated, this whole big false flag, where they were going to use that as an excuse for us to go to war with the communist Cubans. And the Joint Chiefs of Staff had brought it to Kennedy, and Kennedy refused to sign off on it. Then he died. And he also didn't want to go to Vietnam.
When was the Cuban Missile Crisis? Before or after that?
Before. Kennedy was president during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually, I want to say, that was the hero of the Cuban Missile Crisis was some like lowly Russian dude. Like some Russian sailor who...
That's what I've heard.
Who like... pretty much was like, no,
he was told to launch,
and he was like, nah,
on a false, right? It was something that wasn't supposed to actually happen, and then he just said no.
Yeah. If you watch the Oliver Stone Untold History series that was on HBO or Showtime or whatever, it was really, really killer, and he covers that pretty well.
Okay.
He also when he covers World War II, does a great job of like explaining how devastating it was for Russia. Like the 100 million men they lost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. They had 6. So, response considered. The U.S. had no plan in place because its intelligence had been convinced that the Soviets would never install nuclear missiles in Cuba. XCOM, of which Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson was a member, quickly discussed several possible courses of action. 1. Do nothing. 2. Diplomacy. 3. Secret approach.
Oh.
4. Invasion.
Oh. Well, what else is there? What's
5.
left?
Airstrike.
Okay.
6. Blockade.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Use the U.S. Navy to block any missiles from arriving in Cuba.
It's like somebody broke into my house with a gun and said, I'm going to kill everybody here if they don't give me your jewelry and your money. And I said, all right, there's only a few options here.
There's only 6 options.
What can
Come
I
up with
do?
6
I can
options.
either sit here and do nothing.
Okay, nothing.
I can fire back with my handgun.
No.
I can
Okay.
come out and say, take all my shit.
Okay. 3.
Or I can...
Let's think of diplomacy. Talk to them.
Yeah, right.
What is your
diplomacy.
method of convincing them?
Hey, I got a screenplay idea.
Okay.
Okay. I want to hear his 6. He's got 4.
I didn't say I had 6. I just said I had a bunch of
Well, here's
obvious options.
Here's number
that you could
5.
take.
Just start sucking his dick.
Easy.
Yeah.
Been there.
Number 6. Now here's where things get interesting.
Okay.
Okay. Offer your children. Maybe? Or someone else.
Is that part of diplomacy? That's like it's you try
I
to make
think
a deal
that's
with the
equivalent
invader?
to blockade.
Okay. So what's your screenplay idea?
It's what was the date of the Cuban Missile Crisis?
Get the fax machine running.
Like just like the general, like the year or whatever, like the time of year. So
Man,
it was
they're
only
really-
like 4
the
days.
Wikipedia's got... Okay, the Cuban Missile Crisis, also known as the October Crisis of 1962.
October 1962, kind of romantic comedy type movie where they think that they are dead set thinking that the world is over, that the nuclear war is gonna hit. So the guy, it's set in like the day, maybe the day, because I know it's over a couple days, right? It's in October. So,
It
however,
was,
so basically the last couple.
October 16th of October through 20th of November.
Okay, so imagine
so it's a
imagine like, at some point in that time period where they think the world is over,
Mm-hmm.
the guy just, your main character could be a guy who all of a sudden has the courage to the world's ending, so he has the courage to, stand up to the bully or
And get the
go after
girl.
the girl.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
That's actually
Hey,
a pretty good idea.
That's actually really good.
yeah.
I think there's something to work
Because we've seen love like sitcom or love stories where it's spread over a long time.
Yeah.
And so you could definitely do 16th through 20th and just have
Because-
like
with. The 16th of October through the 20th of November.
historical, have
Yeah.
We
historical.
call it 5 weeks.
And also you could have the weather play a part.
Like, I think that I feel like you could do it if you'd have to imagine, knowing humans, that there were people in that time period, especially then when the amount of information you're getting is so limited.
You should have it in Washington, D.C. where they think they're going to get bombed and have them be black. No, I'm just saying this is a good movie idea.
Okay. I'm just thinking, I feel like it should be in a small town, because I feel like that's where you'd find the most kind of like ignorant type thinking. Like, they're out of the loop. All you're getting is the evening news on the radio,
Yeah.
maybe the TV.
Yeah, you have good
So
reason
then-
to think the world's about to
Right.
end.
In the newspaper, you're reading this doom and gloom about the world potentially ending. So then everyone around, you could see like a sort of, think of like the toilet paper panic of COVID, right? All these people are thinking that that at any moment the bomb is going to drop. The nuclear bomb is going to drop. I bet you could find historical fact of like small towns and stuff, like stockpiling or like freaking out, like thinking that, bomb shelters, all sorts of shit, right? So you could do a thing where it was like this kid, my dad says the world's gonna end, and so then he just
He works on his dad's farm.
he just
A
think
kid is in the...
a kid like
Like
a 12,
20.
15. No, I was thinking more
Oh.
like 15, 16 years old. It could be, I feel like he has to be like that, that Brian Wilson, wouldn't it be nice kind of like
I see.
Wouldn't it
like
be nice?
vibe,
What year was that?
Well, that was like 65. It was after this. I know it's unfortunate, but I'm just saying that young love, that feeling. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it could be the 20-year-old thing,
Yeah.
but I feel like it should be someone where it's like
Should
the
be
George
someone
McFly
naive.
almost. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little more naive.
Yeah.
But the town has to believe it. It has to be like everywhere USA. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like anywhere USA, and
Joe Blow, Ohio.
yeah, like Ohio and or a small town in Texas or something,
Mhm.
and it has to be this vibe of like a lot like it's like the thing, the talk, because I imagine the talk of everything. You have your whole life going on regularly,
Mhm.
but then adjacent to it is the threat of the bomb dropping at any
Right.
second, you know? So then you could use this, you could show all the stupid shit, like when you're in class and they were doing the duck and cover drills and shit for when they drop the bomb.
Yep.
You know, you could even be smart about it or whatever and have someone talk about if they drop the nuclear bomb on our town, we're toast. There's no way duck covering is going to do anything. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different avenues you could take with it.
Is it gay of me that I'm just thinking of this as a musical?
Yes.
If you turn it into a musical, then it turns into a whole different.
I was
thing.
not thinking music.
I was not thinking of it as a musical at all. I was thinking of it as like a John Hughes movie,
Historical
but
romance
in 1960.
It's like
Okay.
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, I'm thinking of everyone in the classroom doing a fire drill, but it's like a dance.
No, because that's Grease. That's Grease too. No, we're not doing Grease too.
Is that a thing in Greece too? Is a fire drill?
Well, no, but it just reminds me of if you're going to do a musical, in that era of that it's
Yeah,
gonna be the
you're
Grease.
right. That's it reeks of Grease.
But if you do,
Would it be a tragedy?
No, because then
But you have to have some kind of because every movie, right, has to have a down point where things are looking bad, right?
right. Well, you could have
The missile.
the idea, the what's actually happening now. You can have that, and you can have people. You have it get real tense if there was a point where it was really looking gloom. People getting really gloom about it.
Mhm.
Maybe they shut down the school last week or something.
Yeah.
You can give something really crazy.
Or the
But
siren.
then
They
you have-
hear the big
but-
siren, and it goes off, and it's like the same. It's the same thing if it's a missile crisis or if it's a tornado. They get the big siren, so everyone's got to go down and be afraid. And
You could have a guy. I'm just thinking like the main character, the plot. The guy goes after the girl that he's always had a crush on, and then he gets her at first, but
Mhm.
then since he thinks the world's gonna end, he might go and he becomes popular all of a sudden because of his bravery. Or, you know what I mean? Like then he goes for other chicks or something like that. That
Mhm.
pisses off the other girl.
Oh,
And then he realizes that he made a mistake, so then he's trying to make up with her before the world ends. Then they make up, but then they realize the world's not ending.
yeah.
And then you just hear da da ha 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 da da ooh, ooh. No, that
Or
you couldn't play
Mighty
that.
Boss Tones. You just-
like right as they're like talking at the end, yeah, blah blah blah, like, and then you just have
Can
it
it
come
just
on and they're playing.
Can it just be like all up? Like what's that food film that was the John Favreau?
Yeah,
He was
Jon
like a
Favreau,
chef?
yeah.
It was like all up. It just was like it was like a happy movie the whole time. I'm sure
There was a small part because his son got bummed that he wasn't going to be coming. Like, you know what I mean?
He wasn't going to become. He was.
Yeah,
Gonna have to go
there
back
was
to
a little.
school
There
or go
was a
back on-
little bit of a sad, but there was not that like what you'd expect of like, oh, he fell off the wagon and he's drunk and doesn't want his son around anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't anything like that, or like John Leguizamo. That was actually, I like that chef movie. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was a cute movie.
Yeah.
It's a nice movie if you want to watch something that doesn't make you sad at any
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's that kind of movie. It's just it's always escalating upwards towards the big climax
Yeah.
for the big unapologetic romantic kiss in the end.
We'll always call you family at the
there's a lot of things about Christopher Nolan movies that honestly you could really tear a lot of holes into. We were like, a lot of that shit doesn't make any sense. Like the Dark Knight Rises was one of those where it was like, wait a second, hold on. Like,
Or did you want some of this?
No, it's all yours.
there was something really convenient.
May I have some vodka? Some
I
potato.
think Marianne Cotillard, her character, it was just like very convenient how
This is the one with Two-Face?
no, the one with Bane and
I can't remember very well.
it was the last one.
I saw that in a movie theater in Portland with my uncle when I was working for him. And that was right after a shooting in Portland at the movie theater.
Oh jeez.
There was a shooting at a Portland movie theater?
During that same movie.
Wait, so there was one in Colorado.
Yeah, there was one in Colorado, and that was for The Dark Knight.
You know what? No,
Dark Knight Rises.
Is that the one we were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, it was the Colorado one. It wasn't in Portland.
Yeah, it was Colorado.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
the same thing.
I went and saw it the night of the Colorado shooting too.
Yeah.
I did. No, well, the night. So the movie debuted. So it must have been like Thursday at midnight, and I was going to see it Friday. So all that whole day, it was murder. Shooting at Dark Knight Rises. So then when we went to the theater that night, and it was
See
packed.
Dark
it
Knight
was-
Rises. Was that the one where the guy was like an old man and he told someone to stop talking and they kept talking in the movie and he
No, it
just
was a younger
No,
guy.
it was a dude who walked in and just started shooting everyone.
But he locked it. He somehow blocked the emergency exits.
Yeah, because he probably watched. We need to talk about Kevin.
Or he was just not a real person, and the whole story's fake.
I don't know.
Why does
Why does
everyone have to be
everything have
fake?
to be fake? Yeah.
Why can't they just have like certain people that are?
Why
fucked
can't
up?
there actually be people
Like
who shoot
I
people?
believe
Like, if I had a gun-
100% that there could be some psycho in Colorado that went and shot up a bunch of people
And
in
I
the movie
do.
theater. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well,
not every shooting is a phony one. Like,
Because the one that I felt like was real, which happened a few years ago, probably a lot after that, was like an old guy in a movie theater. Some people were whispering.
oh,
and
I
he
know
got
that one.
fucking
Yeah,
pissed,
yeah.
and he stood up and wanted to scare them with his gun and accidentally just shot them.
did he kill him?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. I was gonna say if
It was
he, like,
kind of hilarious because
shot him in the foot or something, it would have been okay, justice. Yeah, that's sad.
I just remember the 3/4 to 2/3 to 3/4 of the Dark Knight Rises being solid, and then as soon as
Bane started being like really big part of the storyline.
and I just remember Batman comes back from the depths of everything. Marianne Cotillard ends up being the one who escaped the place, and it wasn't Bane. And I just remember at the time watching it
that
and going
did
like
make
a lot of
sense.
this stuff is like it's very convenient that she weaseled her way in somehow and pretended to be something that she was. There's a lot of stuff where it was just like, I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch it. But the big one for me was like in The Dark Knight when Commissioner Gordon gets shot and he's dead. And so then like Batman and all of them, I think we've talked about that before on the show, where Batman and they all act as if Commissioner Gordon's dead. And they had this whole setup, and then it turns out it's really Commissioner Gordon. And he's alive, and his wife is all like, "Oh, how dare you, Jim?" and blah blah.
Yeah.
But the way he got killed was from Joker infiltrating the police force and having like fake security guys there, and then shooting.
Oh, it was like the next year that this happened.
shooting Jim Gordon, who was jumping in front of the mayor or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like this thing where that was planned. It was those contrived
Oh my god.
wrestling style ideas where it was like, wait a second, you guys were on the same team, and then you turned on him to join those guys, even though you were fighting those guys the whole time. You know, it doesn't make any sense. It was like you had to have anticipated every chance happening to happen to a T.
Yes.
Which is like guessing
Listen-
lottery.
yeah.
Wait.
Doesn't
Listen
make
to
sense in the real world. It makes
Listen to
sense in
this
the movie
tragic and insane story that if it happened today, people would probably be still talking about it. But it's from 2014.
world. Ancient history.
Retired Tampa police captain Curtis Reeves, 76, is accused of shooting Chad Olson, 43, in 2014. Detectives say an argument took place in the theater because Olson, the 43-year-old, was texting during the movie previews.
Oof.
It's not even the fucking movie. He's texting in the previews. And
But see, the old guy's been here before. He's seen, they're doing this during the previews. I won't say anything because they're probably going to put their phone away when the movie starts because they have manners. And then it turns out they don't. So now he's he's becoming resentful.
Reeves claims he was in fear for his life when he pulled the trigger after Olson threw a bag of popcorn at him.
You don't know what's in that popcorn?
It's definitely not light, fluffy popcorn that doesn't hurt.
Hey, some people put bricks in their bag.
I just like how a retired police, let's not say officer, captain
That's very
in his 70s just killed someone
feared
because
for his life.
he feared for his life from popcorn.
He learned how to use the phrase "in fear for my life" when it comes to trying to get on the upper end of like a legal issue of using violence when it's not appropriate. It's like, but the fear for my life thing, though.
Reeves was charged with second-degree murder after the shooting and attempted to use Florida's controversial stand your ground law defense, but it was denied by a judge in 2017.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. In 2017, so he would have been 79 at the time. He was 76 in 24. No, 5 years. 3 years. Yeah. So he was 76 when the incident happened in 2014. By 2017, the judge was like,
Okay. This was posted on February 5th of 2020. That was before COVID really shut down everything.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And they were saying his trial was going to be on October 5th.
And then he died? Oh.
No, we don't know. I don't know what's happened. Apparently, this still hasn't gone to court. He fucking killed someone in 2014 for texting during previews.
He defended himself. Was what
after
he did.
He got popcorn thrown at him.
Right.
And
it's dark. The guy's just wailing something at him. He doesn't know if it's a dumbbell.
He can't feel the buttery air.
Hey, he's an old man. He's been through this before.
He's killed before. Yeah, that's...
Have you ever heard of Instinct?
I could tell he was a bad guy.
You knew he was a bad guy. The guy was attacking
him. He wasn't even watching the previews. These are good movies he's missing.
Yeah, but what did he do first? Like, why did the guy wail the popcorn at him? Was he like, "Hey, motherfucker, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you... I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't put your phone away." What the fuck? And he starts throwing popcorn at him.
Or the old man goes, "Hey, you mind putting your phone away? Trying to watch my program." And the guy's probably
just the fucking previews.
"Hey, fuck yourself, old bitch!" And he threw some popcorn at him. And then the guy turned around and said, "Old bitch!" Pop, and popped him in his face. And then he turned around to watch the movie, assuming that everyone in the theater would have been like, "All right, good for you,
good job."
And he just shot him and reholstered his gun and sat there and watched and got set again to everyone. Then just jump cuts to him sitting in across the table from an investigator, talking to him. I was in fear for my life, and I felt it was necessary.
From some popcorn, sir.
It's like the fucking guy I watched a documentary about this case where it was somewhere in California, I think, and these black teenage kids come up to a store, and a couple of them go inside, I think, and their music, they're bumping music or whatever, and the 50-something-year-old white guy in the car next to him, whose girlfriend is running in to buy wine or something. They just gone to a wedding. She's in there buying wine. They apparently had this music just blasting. So the white guy's like, "Hey, can you turn it down? I have a headache." And they turn it down. But then the dude in the back seat was like, "Oh, fuck that shit, man. Turn it up." And he turned it up. And then next thing you know, because then you see
I
like
remember
the
this.
security footage. Yeah, you hear pop, 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 bunch of shots, and then the car drove away. Well, the guy tells a story. And if you watch his police interrogation. He was like, I was scared for my life, sir. And it's like the story and the way that it pans out was that the guy like pulls the gun out and then shot the guy, then got out of the car and like started aiming and shooting more. But was saying that the kid in the back seat had a shotgun, and they're like, the police were like, there was no weapon in that car.
Yeah.
Well, he must have had a lead pipe or something. And he's like, they had nothing. There was nothing. Like the kid
nothing that could be mistaken.
The kid had nothing.
Nothing that could be mistaken as a shotgun.
Oh yeah, shot the kid, and the kid had no. There was no rap sheet. There was no nothing. He was just a normal teenage kid. Not trying to justify it any other way. I'm just saying, like, it was the thing where it was just complete. Like this old dude was looking for a reason to use this shit. You know. Just like the Trayvon Martin stuff.
You gotta lose your mind at a certain point, right?
Yeah.
To be like that.
Yeah, you have to be insane. You have to be a sick person.
This is gonna be. He doesn't even think about the future. Like, I'm gonna be in trouble for this, and everyone's gonna think I'm a.
Well, that's what happens when you grow up in the MK Ultra program. That's another thing. It's like you never it's such a white person thing to be like tell strangers, "Hey, can you turn that down? I got a headache." When was the last time you heard a black kid being like, "Hey, you mind turning that down? I got a headache."
Oh, fuck you and your headache.
Hey, fuck you and your headache. I'm gonna play America. I'm gonna play the Eagles until your head explodes.
I'm gonna play America.
Well, I was thinking America like
beautiful.
Sister Golden Hair.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy?
Which one?
With the America Rock song that got in trouble for drinking tequila and riding his motorcycle.
Oh, you've asked this one before. It's Sammy Hagar.
Oh.
Really? What's the song?
Oh, no. I always think Sammy Hagar because he has his own tequila. Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. Is that the America song you're thinking of?
No, I was talking about the band America.
Oh, okay.
It's like, yeah. Because, imagine a white guy pulls up to a 7-Eleven, it's 11 o'clock at night, and it's like, yeah. Yeah, Ventura Highway.
I got a headache. Could you turn
That
it
was
down?
Horse with No Name.
La, la, la. Okay, you're right. Sorry. Horse with no name.
Ride to the desert on horse with no name.
And you pull up at 11 o'clock at night, playing that at full blast,
And everyone's
and the kid in the car over there's like, "Hey man, turn that shit down. I got a headache, motherfucker." And then you're like,
whoop,
"Ooh,
up louder."
fuck that shit. This is Horse with No Name."
La 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 la. And then you get shot.
Yeah, that story's never been told because it's not real. It could never happen.
Oh, sorry.
Legend has it there's a place out west where you can order a cheeseburger and chicken fried steak at 3 in the morning. A place where the bartenders are old school and they unapologetically free pour cocktails in a bar where it's always happy hour. Well, folks, it turns out the legend is real. Don's Restaurant and Lounge has been a staple of Marysville, Washington since 1972, and the vintage decor reflects our dedication to maintaining that feeling of living in a simpler time. The dated dim light fixtures and the imperfect upholstery transport you back to a time where women were women and men were men, and anyone in between was committed. Our no-nonsense bartenders are sure to slay you with their small-town charm and beautifully imbalanced cocktails, and with Don's no-cutoffs policy, you can drink to your little heart's desire. No one's gonna tell you that you've had too much. So come on down to Don's Restaurant, located off 55X at 199 in Marysville. We have ample parking, great food, better drinks, and we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All right. Should we get into the
Should we get into modern news? This have all been old news stories from like a long time ago that we've been discussing. We talked about the Capitol riots. We've talked about theater shootings.
We just kept going back.
We kept going traveling
back
back
to the
in time.
Kennedys.
The Brute
and the Fruit go back in time.
Missile crisis.
Hey, that was a movie idea.
Then we pitched the movie. It was all worth it.
And then we got back to movie shootings.
All right, how about 2021? How about we go to the time of the simulation that we're living in now? Okay.
Whatever.
All right, here's a story from the Daily Beast. Are you ready? This is about America's couple, so I think it's really important and pressing.
Michelle?
No, Bill Gates and his husband.
Oh, okay.
Bill Gates thought Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Gates thought Jeffrey Epstein was his ticket to a Nobel Prize, ex-staffer says. Are you ready for this? All right.
I don't understand how that works.
Bill Gates enjoyed holding court at Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan mansion, allegedly seeking refuge from his marriage and talking with the sex offender circle of high-profile dinner guests about philanthropy.
I feel like
this fits in too well. Fits in too well. Seeking refuge from his marriage.
Topics.
I've never heard that he didn't like his marriage until now.
I feel like
because you weren't supposed to know.
I feel like this is a definite worked excuse of why like he was hanging out with Epstein.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I feel like his PR team or whatever was like going like, Bill, dude, this is not looking good, man.
Yeah.
Like
we're gonna make a workshop.
We need to
for some ideas of how to turn this around.
We gotta turn this around, Bill. We gotta turn this around,
and we're gonna put out some fake articles and see what sticks.
We gotta turn this around.
We're gonna say you were trying to figure out how to get out of your loveless marriage.
You're greedy. You're trying to get stuff.
Nobel Peace Prize. You were hanging out with Epstein to try to get a Nobel Peace Prize.
It's not because you like
you
the
were
Underoos.
It wasn't because you were friends with Jeffrey. You were angling to use him to get a peace prize.
That's
that makes
right.
you look better. I mean, it makes you trust me. With the amount of damage that's coming our way. In the long run, it's going to make it look better.
It looks better. It looks better to use a child trafficker to capitalize on a child trafficker rather than I was hanging out with him and being his buddy and staying at his house.
I didn't actually like him.
Yeah, we were just spending the night together and building forts and stuff in the living room.
Well, you know what would be funny though? What's next? He was trying to get tax breaks from the Clintons. Is that the next reason he was hanging out?
Yeah, I mean, Hillary Clinton would have been Secretary of State at this point. But I like this phrase. He was using Epstein's circle of high-profile dinner guests, talking to them about philanthropy and otherworldly topics.
Oh,
what is?
Wait, hold on. Like otherworld, like spooky topics,
like the ethereal,
like
the
otherworldly,
multi-universe,
or otherworldly topics, not otherworldly. Otherworldly, right?
Otherworldly or otherworldly.
So, like, is he like he's talking about more worldly topics, or is he talking about
outside of this world,
like spooky phenomenon?
Is he talking about outside of this world, or is he talking about other worlds?
What kind of dinner guest is Bill Gates? Is what I'm asking. Because I'm saying if he's talking about ghosts and goblins and shit, I feel like he might be fun to have around. I can see why Epstein was having him. Hey guys, I invited Bill Gates to come over here for the kid stuff. Bill Gates, really the Windows guy?
He's got a keyboard that plugs into your brain.
And guess what? He tells stories about ghosts and goblins and spooky things. Ooh, that sounds like fun.
That sounds like borderline Satanism.
Please elaborate.
Sign me up.
Please elaborate,
right,
Burger. I'm sure you have this.
Maybe our questions will be answered in this article. But the Microsoft mogul may have been angling for another perk by networking with Epstein. Gates hoped the well-connected pervert...
I feel like this story is just made to make giggles.
Oh, the Daily Beast.
Word.
Daily Beast never fails to
They're
deliver
just
great
making
comedy.
up stuff and pumping it out. They're pooping it out.
Pervert.
Gates hoped the well-connected pervert could help him secure the Nobel Prize.
I just hear the lapsed news editor just listen. You gonna call him a fucking pervert in there. If you don't call him a fucking pervert, I'm gonna kick your fucking
Isn't that a
ass.
little on the nose, sir?
No, it's not on the nose at all. It's the fucking truth. Hey, what's wrong with the truth? That's what
He's
we
a
do.
pervert. We all know it. Just say it.
Oh,
Does he have a lot of friends? Yeah. So he's well connected. Yeah, and he's a pervert. Yeah.
'Cause
So call him a well connected pervert.
There
Where's
you
the
go.
fucking where's my
I
math
just
wrong
gave you a
here?
whole sentence.
he fucks kids, right?
Hey,
Was he sucking on underoos? Isn't that what they just said last week? His wife caught him sucking on underoos? He's a pervert.
the person said members of the foundation's communications team were alerted to Gates' relationship with Epstein and were told it was, quote, a maneuver to try to get himself a Nobel Peace Prize, unquote. Unquote. A Nobel Peace Prize, unquote.
Oh, man.
There we go.
Fucking words. They said the tech mogul had even kept some employees on call on a prize in years past just in case he was awarded the distinction.
Wait, what?
What an asshole.
I want you to have your phone on you at all times. I don't want you sleeping. Because if I win that Nobel Peace Prize, I want to be on the phone within 10 minutes
I want to
saying
be the first
thank you.
I want to be the first to know it. I want to be the first. Wait, no, that's our.
Don't even think-
That's Fauci.
Honey?
I keep getting confused between
Honey,
Fauci and
why
Bill Gates.
Why do you keep coming home so late? Why are you working so late? I'm sorry, dear. Bill, he's got me on call. He thinks he's going to get the Nobel Prize.
Wait.
Again? This is 10 years in a row. I know. I'm sorry. You missed your son's birthday. I'm sorry, okay? Bill was like, really thought he had a chance this year, okay? And he told me that I needed to be there. I needed to wait. And I'm
You
sorry.
said whatever it takes.
You know I need this job. You know we gotta pay the bills.
You know we've got to. This is the why we've been able to live in
You're
this
on
high
the couch
rise.
tonight. No dinner for you, you piece of shit.
Does Dylan like
He's
the hot tub Bill paid for? Does he? Do you like the hot tub, Marion?
Do you like your life?
You like your life, Dylan?
I don't. That Bill Gates. He's got what's a. That's Dr. Bill to you. Hey, that's Dr. Bill.
Bill's a great man.
Bill's a great doctor.
Hey, put that fucking roof over your goddamn head! You ungrateful bitch!
Marion. No, he wouldn't hit her.
Oh no, he'll go
Not
out and
this
plays
guy.
with his because he's gonna go out and play with his model trains. There you go, going to play with the model trains again when you can be talking to your children. Leave me alone! Just leave me alone!
He doesn't play with model
I
trains.
want a divorce!
He just he just reenacts like rape scenes with his stuffed teddy bears.
He's got dolls and model trains. His wife's name's Marion. His son's name's Dylan. Sorry. His son's name's Dylan.
Tim Dillon.
I think Tim just gave himself away a little bit. That might be hitting home. We're describing his home life.
No, my dad was a construction worker. Very different. This guy's name's probably something a little unique. It's going to be German. It's going to be...
Randall.
Hans?
No, Hans... No.
No.
Isn't that
Randall. He goes by Randy when Bill talks to him. But that's it.
Hey, Rand, buddy. I think this is going to be the year. It's going to be a good one. I've been really putting a lot of time in with my friends, and I think this is going to be the year. So,
And that's all Randall has to hear. He doesn't have to hear, like, you need to stay 24/7, but he hears that from Bill, and he knows, I'm here. I'm sleeping in the office tonight, and I'm not sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm going to rail a bunch of Adderall
Yep.
and be here all night.
I feel like Bill Gates' voice, like when he normally talks, it just sounds like the sound of creeping spiders, or like with a little.
At this point in his life,
Yeah,
probably,
we just. Here's the thing.
it's not unreasonable.
As America's doctor, I can.
Let me
were
talk
aware
to you
of
about
the-
pill manufacturing.
We are aware of the things that were potentially reputational risks for the foundation and the co-workers, Bill and Melinda, said the former employee. Even back then, people knew this guy wasn't squeaky clean, the person said, referring to Epstein. Yeah, because all this was taking place after Epstein had gotten arrested
Wasn't it
for
in, like,
trafficking.
2013
I think
Something like that.
Yeah.
that he first got charged with?
I thought he got charged before. Was it 2013? Okay.
Somewhere between the late 2000s and early 2010s.
Gates thought that Jeffrey would be able to help him, and he would know the right people or some kind of way to massage things. I bet he did. So he could get the Nobel Peace Prize, which is what Bill wants more than anything else in the world, the staffer said.
And Jeffrey Epstein was the only avenue that Bill Gates, richest man in the world, the only avenue that he could turn to was Jeffrey Epstein.
How many Nobel Peace Prize winners have gone through Jeffrey Epstein? I'd like to know the connections here.
There's a lot of them, trust me. No, do we even know? Do we even know?
I feel like this is just like a
Who-
random distraction.
I feel like yeah.
Wait, who? I'm gonna look up Nobel Peace Prize winners and all their connections to Epstein. Now.
I feel like Bill Gates could have just called up the Nobel people.
Yeah, why? He
Bill
would
Gates has
not-
to slither.
This is the dumbest story ever.
This is so fake.
Nobel Peace Prize through Epstein.
Well, I wanted to be the first one to win a Nobel Peace Prize for man-child love. And I felt like Epstein was the one to go through.
Nambla.
Oh,
Sorry, you
gross.
came up second only to Pope Francis.
2020.
Again?
Again, last time I lost to Pope John.
So 2019.
Pope
Abdi-
Benedict. He
Abdi-
beat me too.
Ahmed. Abdi Ahmed is an Ethiopian politician.
Oh, I'm sure he's
2018,
fantastic.
Dennis Mukwege.
Okay, so these are pretend people. These
Hey,
are the kind of people
you know
who
who's-
mail who send friend requests to you on
But
Facebook.
hold on. Here's the thing about the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, dude, Dennis Mukwege is a gynecologist. 2018 won. This Epstein thing's starting to make sense.
Yeah.
The Nobel Peace Prize is a joke.
This Epstein thing started to make sense.
It was created by people
Oh God. Oh,
in
sorry.
sex trafficking who wanted to be like, you got an award for sex trafficking, dude.
That's
No one's gonna know.
That's how they really get off. Is that they give the prizes to like the biggest perverts in the world, and they laugh, and they think it's the funniest thing. Dude, I gave the Nobel. We got the Nobel Peace Prize. We gave it to some guy who fucking massages vaginas for a living. Oh my god.
Well, here you go. You know who was supposed to win the Nobel Peace Prize in 1939?
Adolf Hitler.
Exactly.
No way.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That I know that
Let me
from
Which
a-
makes a lot of sense, 'cause
let
they
me
put Biden
scroll
on the
back
cover.
And what they have on Google, I'm sure it shows that.
I
Oh,
Yeah, look it
no,
up.
It
Look it up.
doesn't.
this,
Look up
it was
Hitler
a,
Nobel.
it was a final question for Trivial Pursuit one game of Trivial Pursuit.
They
I was
only go
playing.
back to 1985 for some reason.
Yeah, 1939 was supposed to be awarded to Adolf Hitler.
Which I believe was the same year that The Wizard of Oz was released in
yes.
theaters.
Yes.
Yeah,
Amazing.
no connection. No,
And Gone with the Wind.
that's right. And Gone with the Wind won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Did it not?
Oh, I was thinking of Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves 1990, same year as Goodfellas.
A very different movie.
Yeah.
Very
right?
different and much later.
Yeah. Not to me.
Yeah,
but-
50 years later. All right, here we go. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Epstein was known for cultivating a Rolodex of elite contacts from around the globe. I've never heard that word before.
Cultivating?
Rolodex.
You don't
Yeah,
know what a Rolodex is?
a Rolodex is like old timey business.
all the guys-
Oh, like secretaries back in the day,
Yeah.
they'd have all those
Rolodex.
No,
numbers.
no. I know guys who are retiring right now,
Mhm.
and they leave behind Rolodexes. And all of us current employees, we spin them around and laugh and say, "Look at how caveman-like they were," and it's fun to play with them.
Oh, you're an ass. You guys are jerks. All right.
I
A
feel like in the
Rolodex
old-
of
They
I-
spin
contacts.
around really nice.
Yeah, but I feel like in the old days, if someone was leaving back their Rolodex, and you absorbed their content.
Yeah, it
that
was
their
like
deal.
you were really
Leads.
smart.
You get the leads.
But we don't even look. We have no respect for them.
Oh my lord.
Most of those people in there are dead.
Oh,
What's your new hustle that you're doing right now? You're not a
Well-
liaison anymore. You've been working at a new place. I thought
Well, I'm selling things.
things
Well, yes.
like lots of things. Like your
Yeah, I
sales?
got a lot of crap to get rid of.
Okay.
I got a lot of crap to get rid of. I've got some storage containers. I mean, I don't want to really get into my personal life,
That's fair. Yeah.
which I don't usually do on this show. But I have a lot of stuff in storage that belonged to a person who passed away that I need to get rid of. You know, like when a family member passes, and you auction it off. And I've kind of been getting into that lifestyle. 'Cause it's kind of a lifestyle. I met some other people doing it with their store. They bid for storage containers,
Okay.
and then they get stuff in them and auction it off, sell it by one, you know. But
So okay,
it's kind of like a battle.
like a war.
It's
you'd
almost like a
say.
war to get into the storage containers because there's a bunch of other people who want in. And I got a few that are just mine, but I'm also starting to bid on others.
You're starting to invest in storage units.
Yeah, because to make money you got to spend money, and these are full of valuable items usually. So you roll the dice.
You tend to have a pretty decent instinct when it comes to your business, I guess. So
Yeah, at least 51%.
yeah.
Within a margin of error. So I think I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, right on.
You've got a friend that does.
here's a pressing story from one of the greatest places on earth, the state of Florida.
Oh,
Okay.
Florida woman, 43, crashes children's birthday party and rapes boy, 17,
Not a boy.
who whispers for help to a girl, 12, sleeping nearby after being pinned down by his 250-pound attacker.
oh,
Oh.
woman, right? Female
Yeah.
attacker.
Let me repeat this headline
This isn't
from the
funny.
Daily Mail.
This isn't funny, Burger. I know you're laughing out of discomfort.
Continue, Burger.
Let me repeat this headline. Daily Mail. Here we go. Florida woman, 43, crashes children's birthday party and rapes boy, 17.
How do you crash a children's birthday
Well, we'll
party?
find out.
Is there no other parents involved? They're just having a birthday party on their own? Like, all our parents are drunk and dead. Let's have a birthday.
Hold on, let me read this, please.
Let's have
I
a,
didn't even consider that when I read this.
let's have a birthday party.
Hold on, please. Florida.
It is Florida.
A Florida woman, 43, crashes children's birthday party and rapes boy, 17, who whispers for help to a girl, 12, sleeping nearby after being pinned down by his 250-pound attacker.
So she wasn't sleeping.
Yeah, and she was not sleeping. No.
Faker.
The little girl that was 12 was not sleeping.
Faker.
But the 43-year-old woman
Not a faker.
was raping a 17-year-old boy
Faker.
while the 12-year-old girl was sleeping nearby. Okay, so let us continue. Here's the bullet points.
This sounds really terrible.
Who's the 12-year-old? And
A
who's
rat.
who's the 17-year-old? Because here's the thing: before this 43-year-old, 250-pound beast of a woman
Here's
showed
the
up,
thing.
there's a 12-year-old
250 pounds.
There's a 12-year-old with a 17-year-old, which is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, well,
Well-
this is a birthday party thrown by children.
Well, let me read. Let
Because
us
their
read
parents
on.
are drunk and dead.
Let's read on. because we might get that's just a headline.
It's already. Well, let's
build
keep
from
going.
here.
I'm very interested.
So we have the foundation. Jessica Good, charged with unlawful sexual activity with certain minors and willful abuse of a child without causing great bodily harm. Sounds like sounds like a gentleman's crime.
I think that's called statutory rape.
I mean, this is in the UK, I think, so this is how they phrase things.
They
a
said
little
Florida woman.
I know, but the article, I think the newspaper, this is Daily Mail UK.
They
Well,
don't
no,
understand.
if it says Florida, it's Florida.
Yeah, it is Florida. Yeah,
No, but the UK is writing about it, so they don't know how laws work here.
The way the Englishman has phrased this is very odd.
They don't know what rape is over there.
Jessica
apparently.
Good, 43, is accused of having. Or hold on. Jessica Good, charged with unlawful sexual activity with certain minors and willful abuse of a child without causing great bodily harm. Good, 43, is accused of having sex with a 17-year-old boy after drunkenly crashing a children's party, a children's birthday party on May 9th. The teen claimed Good raped him, and he could not push her off of him because she was too heavy. This is not funny.
It checks out.
There's a
12-year-old
250-pound weight on my crotch.
A 12-year-old girl. We don't know if it's the 17-year-old sister who's like in the same house.
That's what I'm saying.
A 12-year-old girl said she witnessed suspect and victim having sex, but claimed it was mutual. This didn't quite sound like the other article we read, but this might be an update. She said the teen did whisper help to her, but she argued he could have easily pushed Good off of himself. And we do know he got up in the middle of coitus to vomit and then returned to coitus. We do know that happened.
Of course.
Because that was part of a different article that we read earlier. Good told cops she blacked out and later woke up to find the 17-year-old... Oh, this can't be real.
What?
Good told cops she blacked out and later woke up to find the 17-year-old digitally raping her.
Digitally with his fingers.
With his digits. I was thinking...
No, it doesn't make sense. Why would they say digitally?
Because it makes sense. Digits. Your fingers are digits.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it does make sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
No, in the world of digital media, you would say finger raping.
You would, but maybe if you were English, you might use the word digits.
I hate the English now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's an unusual way to put it. Maybe legally, like in a lawful
if he was,
way.
Keep reading. I don't believe
the Lee of it. Digitally is digits. He's using his fingers to rape.
No, I've never heard
rape her.
digitally means digital. It doesn't mean with your fingers.
No, digit is a finger.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like,
yeah, but everyone knows digitally.
So digitally, by digitally raping her, it means that he wasn't raping her with his dick. He was raping her with his fingers. And so if he was putting in her butt with his dick, it'd be called anally, vaginally, digitally.
Digitally is like
orally.
It's one of those weird language things. It's like if somebody calls a terrorist a bad actor, it doesn't mean they're Michelle Rodriguez.
Keep reading. I don't believe it.
Okay. I mean, I believe it, but I think there's certain anomalies in the story. Good told cops she'd blacked out and later woke up to find the 17-year-old digitally penetrating her. She denied raping the juvenile in Florida. Age of consent is 18 years old, and sex with someone under 18 is considered statutory rape. All right. This poor woman's face is plastered everywhere. She looks like a famous Native American actress whose name I can't pinpoint. A 43-year-old Florida woman has been arrested on suspicion of raping a 17-year-old boy in front of a 12-year-old girl after drunkenly crashing a children's birthday party. See, this is the comedic part of the whole thing, is that she crashed the party to begin with. This party that seems to have no parents.
This is just how Floridians mate. A 43-year-old fat woman who is on the verge of not being... able to give birth.
Now,
anymore.
we don't know she's fat.
She goes into a party of children who are living alone. They're like field children.
Yep.
Like children of the corn. And she mates with the oldest. And that's how they reproduce. There's nothing out of the normal, really.
You know what?
It's wrong.
I honestly think you're onto something here.
I'm just saying.
I think your analysis
is...
It's
very wrong. And it's probably rape. And it's also normal
in Florida. Or your 17-year-old hanging out with a 12-year-old, and you get down in bed to
And the
They
40
did a business.
and the 43-year-old came in to equal the playing field.
No, I'm just saying Tim's
Average the
giving an
age.
example of how people hook up in Florida. There's
Oh.
the example of you're a 43-year-old crashing a child's birthday party and you hook up with a 17-year-old. Or there's you go to someone's birthday party when you're 17 and you meet your girlfriend who's now 12.
Right. Yeah. Humans are complex. Jessica Good from Punta Gorda. The fuck is that? Is that just a place in Florida?
No, Punta is bitch and Gorda is fat.
Is that?
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Can you please verify this?
Yes.
So where?
Everyone knows that.
She's from Fat Bitch.
Wait,
Jessica-
actually, Punta means tip.
Okay, so she's from Fat Tip.
Yes.
So, okay.
Gorda means fat woman.
Does it really?
Yeah, because Gordo means fat man.
When did the Daily Mail become the Sun?
I don't know. They're talking about a fat woman from Fat Woman Tip.
Okay. Jessica Good from Punta Gorda was booked
That means fat bitch.
into the Charlotte County Jail on May 12th on 2 counts each of unlawful sexual activity with certain minors and willful abuse of a child without causing great bodily harm. See, this is a Florida law. This is not a
Puta is Hispanic slang for whore.
Punta.
Punta is what non-Hispanics think is puta. For some reason, they put the N in it. This is what Urban Dictionary says.
Okay, well, there's a lot adding up here. Good was taken into custody after the alleged victim told a staffer at his high school that he was raped over the weekend. Why would he tell a staffer?
Probably because he's got problems at home and he needs attention. You know, he was hanging out at a 12-year-old's birthday party.
He
Okay.
was actually the adult at the 12-year-old birthday party.
That was his daughter.
That was his daughter.
I mean,
He's at 5 when he.
Okay. Well,
He's from
it could
Florida.
be that he's from Tennessee and then they moved to Florida. According to an affidavit of probable cause obtained by DailyMail.com, on May 9th, a boy was celebrating his 16th birthday at a home in Port Charlotte when Good arrived at the children's party after a night of drinking with an adult friend. Good continued to, quote, hang out with the youngsters and was heard making extremely inappropriate comments, including allegedly calling a 12-year-old girl a whore and urging her to have sex with an older boy because he has the biggest dick.
I just like this translation. You type in Gorda into Google and it just directly says fat woman.
Yeah, I think they might have gotten some weird information on that title.
That's Google. That's Google being
Yeah.
top page. Very top of the page.
Good also allegedly provided the alcohol to the 17-year-old victim. During an interview with the authorities, the teen said he was sleeping on a love seat after the party when Good came over, pulled down his pants and underwear, then exposed her privates, grabbed his penis, and began raping him. That's how it happens. That's a natural progression of things. The 17-year-old claimed he, quote, could not push her off of him because she was too heavy, unquote, according to jail records. Good weighs 250 pounds. The boy told investigators Good continued having sex with him. That's such a weird way to phrase it if you're being raped. He continued to have sex with the victim until she either... Okay.
This whole
on.
article seems really weird.
Hold on. But there's multiple articles. This is the one I chose out of the grouping.
Of course.
Okay. God. The boy told investigators Good continued having sex with him until...
What?
Okay. Continued having sex with him until she either urinated or released bodily fluids all over him.
oh god.
She then left.
Oh.
At that point, you're like, oh, God. Oh, fuck. In Florida, the age of consent is 18 years old, and sexual intercourse with someone who is under 18 is considered statutory rape. The 12-year-old girl who witnessed this sex act offered a different version of events, saying she was asleep in a beanbag chair in the living room when she was awoken.
It's Florida.
Who has a beanbag chair in 2021?
People who let their kids have a birthday party alone.
Yes.
I used to have beanbag chairs when I was a kid playing Nintendo in 1996.
This is obviously a very trashy establishment.
Oh, good lord. A 12-year-old girl who witnessed the sex act offered a different version of events, saying she was asleep in a beanbag chair in the living room when she was awoken by moaning noises coming from Good and the 17-year-old boy, who she said were actively having sex in a love seat just a foot away from her. That must smell awful. The girl stated the sex was mutual and they were both actively engaged in it. According to the affidavit, neither of them was telling the other to stop, and both were moving. The 12-year-old told detectives that at one point the teen boy whispered "help" to her, and then she instructed him to slide away from Good.
This is
good
terrible.
advice.
Yeah,
That's good advice. The girl argued that the 17-year-old could have pushed Good off very easily if he wanted to. According to the juvenile witness, the teen later got off the love seat and went to the bathroom to
It
vomit.
sounds like the 17-year-old was embarrassed
Exactly.
that he was fucking this fat woman.
And he woke up the next morning
And then this
was embarrassed.
12-year-old was like,
I don't really know.
I don't know what's going on,
'Cause
but
she's a
you could
child.
just get out of there.
Yeah.
And he was like pretending.
Yeah. You can tell when somebody's bucking their hips that they're actively involved, right? Or is that controversial?
You know what's weird is that we're hearing about this. That's the.
Yeah, why is this story so important?
I,
This happens all the time in Florida. According to the juvenile witness, the teen later got off the love seat and went to the bathroom to vomit. He then returned, slipped in behind the suspect. That was a quote.
Ooh.
Slipped in behind the suspect.
Yuck.
And proceeded to digitally penetrate her.
With his fingers.
This is according to the 12-year-old. When questioned about the incident by detectives, Good claimed she had been out drinking with a friend, that she later blacked out and did not remember anything that happened that night. She said that when she woke up on the love seat, she found the 17-year-old digitally penetrating her. Good denied raping the boy, whom she allegedly knew to be younger than 18. Good remains at the Charlotte County Jail on a $150,000 bond. Who's the bad guy in this situation?
the 12-year-old. No, I
The
don't.
rat.
Honestly,
I feel like
I don't know. I mean, it
feel
would
like-
be the woman, but it almost seems like there's everyone here is just.
I feel like
Derelicts.
I feel like the
Yeah.
guy was was
Yeah,
enjoying it,
he's a 17-year-old. He wanted to have sex. He didn't want to have sex with her, but he did it because he could.
because he
I
said to
have a
himself,
feeling that
any
the-
port in a
I have
storm is what he said.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the 17-year-old, when looking at the 12-year-old and saying "help me," was more like going like join the fun.
Oh, I don't think so.
I would think that the 17-year-old probably likes the 12-year-old more than the 43-year-old.
You know what? You might be onto something. You know how I've been. You know, there's you can get in a situation and you're in a. You might use the phrase "help out," like, "Hey, you want some help? You want some help with that?" Like with that
Sarcastically.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's like people on Grindr. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm just hanging out, just took a shower,
You
really
need some
horny,"
help.
and they're like, "Oh, you want some help?"
Yeah.
I was just thinking about, throwing one off before bed. Oh, you want some help? LOL, winky emoticon.
I
You
can
know what? You might be
imagine
onto
the
something.
17-year-old saying "help me" to the 12-year-old because they're embarrassed and they don't want to admit that they enjoy it, but they are having sex with a 43-year-old in front of the
A
12-year-old.
250-pound 43-year-old. We don't know how tall she is, though. She could be 7 feet tall, which in that case, she wouldn't be fat,
Probably
as you were
not.
alleging earlier. But I see a picture of her now, and looks
Yeah,
like
I've
she
seen a
might be
picture.
5'2".
So
So
the
imagine where the weight
17-year-old was
goes.
very embarrassed and didn't want the 12-year-old to know that he was enjoying it. So he said,
He's embarrassed. He doesn't want to get in trouble.
He shouldn't be having sex with a woman in front of the 12-year-old. Also, he's embarrassed about that.
Yep.
She says, "Help
why
me."
Why are we saying embarrassed? I really don't think it's embarrassed. I feel like it's more like you're getting in trouble, so now you are trying to cover your ass.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that too. That too.
That's exactly what it is.
Probably both. I mean, if you were like hanging out at a 12-year-old's birthday party, you probably like them.
Well, no, it was his birthday.
And whatever. Oh,
it was his friend's birthday. Well, it was like his friend's birthday.
Well, still, if
it was
you
somebody
have
who was
people
turning
hanging out
16
with you on your birthday, you probably don't want them to think you're fucking a 250-pound 43-year-old.
Yeah, you have to choose the thing that you're going to be. I don't know. That's just that whole
story. So you'd be like acting like it was not what you wanted.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, if you're the actual difference between a 17-year-old and a 12-year-old when it comes to their mentalities or who they are is so different.
Yeah.
To where, like, I really don't think a 17-year-old's gonna give a shit what a 12-year-old thinks of them. So that's why I'm thinking it's more.
I don't know. There's some really immature 17-year-olds.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. So then maybe then I'm thinking that the 17-year-old was there why was there a 12-year-old hanging out with a 17-year-old?
No, it is still weird. Yeah,
because
right.
it was
it's weird because
birthday. it was somebody
still a
turning
12-year-old is
yeah,
a 12-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Why is there no adults in this situation?
There's no parents. A 43-year-old, 250-pound woman can come like waltzing in or waddling
like Bowser from Super Mario Bros. Bum 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 bum.
She's a drunk woman. She's got no right being there, and there's no parent to say, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah, she just wanted to come in and get slammed until she pissed.
And there's just kids going,
God damn you, do you
"Oh, hi. Hi, we're all alone, and we don't understand because we've never been raised."
I'm gonna slam you till you piss yourself. What you mean?
This is how babies are made. You gotta piss on each other.
You're
you know
all
what I mean?
right. Jump on his cock.
Well, you know,
Put your fingers inside me.
digitally. Fuck me digitally.
Digitally. I'm sure she used the term digitally.
I know, that's what they asked the little girl, was like, well, how was he penetrating her? I don't know, digitally? It's like, all right, now we know it's fake.
This is such terrible. I don't like thinking about
All right, we might have to delete some of that. That was disgusting
Just
dialogue.
go to the next.
But you know what? No shame. All right, here, we got an email. Do you mind if I read it?
Really?
Yeah. I think this might be a good time to do it. We're kind of wrapped up with the news. This email came
I
in.
usually check the email.
Yeah, well, I checked it.
Well, I didn't know you did that.
Well, I get bored during the day. Sometimes So here we go. This email came in at brute_n_fruit@gmail.com.
I didn't catch this. But this is gonna be good. All right.
Oh yeah, it's fascinating. It's attention to Timothy Wilson.
That's
Is that you, Mr. Timothy.
Who calls you
Yeah, that
Timothy?
doesn't sound like a typical listener email, though, so...
Tim. Here's what. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Tim, you cannot keep avoiding us. We have called every number you provided, and to no one's surprise, they're no longer in service. You will not avoid us, not as in all caps. How do you sleep at night? Our mother trusted you, and you did nothing but use her. Her home, her belongings, those are things that should go to her actual family, also in caps, actual. You will be hearing from our lawyer, Sharon Wibner.
Okay, well...
Who's Sharon?
I don't think that shouldn't have gone to that email. You shouldn't have read that.
What was addressed? I mean, I like to read the emails.
Dirty laundry. Keep it up. Keep it down. Keep it up. Kick 'em all around. Holy shit.
That should have been just
Hey,
me.
read that again, Burger. Read that again for me.
I really don't think you can consider that illegal.
She can tell you about the plane crash.
It's
with the
not
gleam in her eye.
legal
Doo, doo, doo.
correspondence
It's
when you send
interesting
it
when
to a group
people die.
email.
Give us
For
dirty
company.
laundry. Bing, ding, jigga, bang, bang, bang.
All right. This is again to you. Tim, you cannot keep avoiding us. We have called every number
I've
you
already
provided.
heard this. You
Hold
don't
on.
need to read this again.
Well, and to
I'd
no
like
one's
to hear.
surprise, they're no longer in service. You
So
will not.
So you're giving some woman Sharon. That name
Who's Sharon?
that name sounds familiar. Burger, does that? We've talked about Sharon before. Is that your aunt or someone?
Is that your daughter? Is that your stepdaughter?
Sharon was with Helen when she went into anaphylactic shock. So I really don't see how Sharon thinks that she's not at fault for something. And I don't really want to talk to her. I've already discussed this with her. This is not about anything to do with the show. It's not something that needs to be discussed.
Well, apparently she's been trying to get a hold of you. You've given her wrong phone numbers.
I have new phones all the time. I'm a very important person. I have a lot of business to do. Okay? Sometimes I get a new number. I can't I'm not going to take the time. You know how long it takes to transfer a number? It's like 2 fucking weeks. I don't have time for that. I have a new phone.
And so she hasn't been able to get a hold of you. So I'm assuming she knew that this was a reliable way to get a hold of you. So I'm guessing that's why we got the email. But
Well, we appreciate you, Sharon Wibner,
job,
for
Sharon.
emailing the Brute and the Fruit. Again, that's brute_n_fruit@gmail.com. Thank you for your
give
email.
it
feel free to send us anything, any more feedback
Yeah,
you'd like
great.
to. So what is it? So what about was this about belongings? What are you doing about what?
Hell, like I said, I'm getting into storage, locker, sales, and auctioning. And Helen had a lot of belongings that she didn't have access to because she didn't have space for them. And they were in a locker. And now they're being sold because she's no longer with us. Rest in peace. So I'm doing the responsible thing and taking care of her belongings. I'm doing what she would have wanted. I am being the caretaker for her will, basically. And Sharon she's completely unrealistic. She doesn't know how to move forward. She doesn't know how to do anything, really, because all she is a fucking housewife. I mean, no offense to housewives, but she doesn't know how to run anything but a house, maybe, kinda. She's not very good at it. But anyway, I'm doing what needs to be done, and she can't handle it because she's not realistic. And that's all I gotta say about it. I mean, I don't want to say anything more.
All right. Well, I'll just read this last.
Yeah, thank you.
Her home, her belongings, those are things that should go to her actual family. You'll be hearing from our lawyer. So that's, I don't know, I
Holy
thought
shit.
that was interesting.
It's just a bunch of old machines.
Yeah, but why couldn't you give them to her
Well,
kids?
if you're a kid, do you need a 1936 sewing machine?
Well, you might want that. Might be like a
Do you
heirloom.
need a 1805 fucking apple core grinder? Are you as a child, should you even have access to a cotton gin? No, you shouldn't. So I think it's the right thing to do. I think giving her family with her children access to these old machines would be wrong. Because it wouldn't be safe. And safety is what I care about most.
I mean, why do you have why is it you? Why
Because we were going to be married.
if you're someone like Helen would have had a will written up a long time ago and
Well,
you guys didn't get married.
Helen she was a free spirit, and I'm more of a, numbers guy. I'm more of a I'm
We
a
do call you Specs.
specs
Yeah.
guy, and I helped her figure out what she was going to do with her future, and she did it completely voluntarily. She did it out of love and with a lawyer.
Then you guys now, to you know, I guess to speak on your behalf to Burger to defend you here. 'Cause
I don't know why you
Burger's
need
not
to do that.
to speak for my best man, my client here. They were a partnership. You know, they were a partnership.
She was living
They
and
were
working
business.
with me.
They were a business partnership. You know, so
As you may recall,
Yeah.
we had a single life/work location
mhm.
that
Right.
we shared together equally.
Yeah, it was like a custodian's closet down in a basement
No.
somewhere. Where you could hear
Not
people
quite,
flush the
but
toilets.
it was quite a bit larger than that. But it was pretty nice. But it was an industrial location, and there are legal contracts that were involved.
I see.
So it's a complex situation and it required a complex legal contract, and we both signed to it. We were both very willing and eager. It just, much more clean cut than the 17-year-old versus the 43-year-old.
Which was muddy in your opinion?
Clearly.
Okay. Well, again, Sharon Wibner, a fan of a show, or thank you again for emailing us. We can you can always contact us at brute_n_fruit at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
And
Sharon.
we appreciate that. And you can always keep in touch with us.
Always.
Always.